We have all been there. A client leaves, a launch is quiet, or maybe the bank account doesn't look as high as you like. And suddenly that panic just takes over, and you start thinking about pivoting your entire business or taking on a client that might not be a good fit just for that financial security. This is a scarcity fog. And when your brain senses this lack of resources, it actually shuts down your creativity and it turns up your desperation. And guess what? Desperation is the least magnetic energy in business. If you are struggling with the fear of not making enough money, make sure you hit subscribe for this series of busting fears, including today's, where we are going to challenge that fear of not making enough money. As a clinical psychologist and a productivity coach, I have learned the best way to move from a scarcity mindset to a sense of security is by anchoring evidence. But why do we need to anchor evidence? Despite what you might believe, your brain will tell you whatever story you pair it with, and it will fear that emotion. In other words, your brain is lying to you, and it's telling you that you are in this permanent crisis. Now, to shift this, we need to remind ourselves about the actual facts of the situation. To do this, I want you just to look back at the last year or the last 5 years. How many times have you been down and you have figured it out? How many times did money show up right when you needed it? Or a situation worked itself out just how it needed to? By bringing up wins from our past, it actually reminds ourselves that we can't predict the future. And that allows our brain to look at it from other possibilities. So, for example, if you were to list 3 times that you were a problem solver, then the next time that you felt stuck, you can just remind yourself, hey, I've problem solved before, and I'm going to be able to problem solve this too. And it allows us to feel less worried or anxious about upcoming events that we don't even know that are going to happen. So once you face that emotion head on, you can actually take the grounded action that you want to take. So by doing this, you realize that you aren't chasing the money, but instead you're managing the business. This week, when that feeling of not enough creeps in, I want you to use some long exhales that we learned in week 1 and look at your evidence list. Just remind your internal security guard what we talked about in week 2, that you are safe, you are capable, and that the famine is just a season. That what you are going through is just a season. It's not your destiny. You have your evidence list that you are now creating of other times that you've gotten through, that you've managed, that you've pushed forward, and you've reminded your brain that you are a problem solver, not a victim of this market. But once you stop panicking about the money, you might start to notice something else, like how exhausted you are. And if you feel like you always need to be doing one more thing or just stay afloat, you may not just be driven. You may be actually stuck in this survival loop. So next week, we will be on week 5, and this is where we'll be focusing on the fear of burnout by doing too much. And next week, I'm going to show you how to find this spacious clarity without your business falling apart. But for this week, I want you to focus on challenging the fear of losing money and challenging that scarcity mindset, recognizing that you are a problem solver and you will get through this. So make sure you hit subscribe and like, and check out the resources that I provided below, and I will see you soon.